Hello, 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 and welcome everyone to the very first episode of Beautiful Living with Keisa. I'm your host, Keisa, and I'm beyond thrilled to embark on this journey with you. Beautiful living isn't just a destination, it's a journey that you get to take every single day. It's about deciding what we want out of our lives and what we want it to look like, and taking the steps to make that vision a reality. And today, I want to share with you what beautiful living means to me. The next pillar of the new pillar, I should say, of beautiful living, my journey to beautiful living, and what to expect from the show. So, getting right into it, what does beautiful living mean to me? Glad that you should ask. Beautiful living to me is about evolving into who you were predestined to be. It's about having a healthy mindset, a healthy growth mindset, and not so fixed and not with a fixed mindset where you're not willing to change. It's about having a relationship with God. It's about taking care of the one temple that God has given you, the one body that we have. It's about creating and cultivating healthy relationships, not just with other people, but with yourself first, because you have to have a good, healthy self relationship in order to cultivate healthy relationships with other people. It's about managing your finances, and it's about living and operating in purpose. If you ain't heard nothing else about what I said about beautiful living, the main thing I want you to hear about beautiful living, it is about living and operating in purpose. It's about how are you showing up for what God has called you to do. Meaning, when you step out that door, are you representing the kingdom? Are you representing everything that God has called you to do with your outer appearance, is what I'm saying? Are you really showing up for the call? Like tonight, I'm here in my living room, starting this first show episode, but I still showed up. I didn't just put on the tennis shoes, put on a cap, which I could very well do, but I showed up for what I was called to do tonight. So are you showing up for what you are being called to do? And last but certainly not least, and I will introduce this pillar a little later, it's about community. It's about surrounding yourself with people who can uplift you, inspire you, push you, community, right? God never intended for us to do life alone. That's why he created Eve for Adam. He couldn't do that by himself. He needed a helpmate. We need people. It doesn't necessarily have to be a husband or a wife, but we need friendship. We need relationship. That's what we need, right? And so that is what beautiful living means to me, out in addition to setting healthy boundaries, taking care of yourself with self-care, right? Having a vision for your life and executing it, right? And one thing I want you to know about beautiful living, that beautiful living will look different for every single body. But for some things, it will be the same, like cultivating the healthy mindset, right? You have to have that in order to grow and evolve into what you are predestined to be, right? And so creating a vision, executing it, and making sure that you can write out and visualize what beautiful living looks like to you. I cannot define that for you, right? Only thing I can do is come alongside of you as your co-pilot and help you to reach the destination, even though the destination is not the final place, because it's a journey. Remember, beautiful living is a journey. It is not a destination. There are pockets of destinations that you will reach along the way to get to the ultimate wherever God has you to be, right? And so that is what beautiful living means to me. And speaking of vision, I want to talk about the importance of having a vision. I think it's Proverbs 29:18 that says, where there is no vision, the people perish. It is biblical. And I talk about vision so much is because in order for you to go to your next, you have to see it first. If you cannot see it, how can you get there? It's about creating the vision. It's about sitting down, writing it out, and it's about taking the steps, writing goals to get to your next destination, right? Along the journey. So that is a little bit about what beautiful living means to me, and about why it's important for you to have a vision. When you don't have no vision, it says the people perish, right? And if you're perishing, that means you're dying. You dead. And every day, we have people that are walking zombies in the world that they just do the same thing every single day. Nothing else. no vision for anything else, right? And so when we're talking about vision, it's important that you get you one, right? It's important that you get you a vision for your life. And knowing that at the end of the day, beautiful living, there are going to be some not so good days, but it doesn't mean that it's not beautiful, right? It's going to be some days that don't feel so beautiful. It's going to be some days that don't look so beautiful, but it doesn't mean it's not a beautiful day because God gave you the ultimate gift, the gift of life. If He allows you to open your eyes, He allows you to breathe. You got to navigate through whatever it is that you're going through because that day is still beautiful. You get to choose how you want to feel in that day, no matter what. Things are going to come your way, but you get to decide what that day is going to ultimately be like for you. So every day is truly a beautiful day. It's what you make it, regardless of the circumstances. It's our mindset. Is how we choose to respond to the situations, right? And so I wanted to go into, because I said earlier that I have a new pillar. But before I get into that, beautiful living is a holistic approach to life, right? That emphasizes balance, heavy on the fulfillment, and purpose across multiple aspects of your life. It's about creating a life that not only looks good on the outside, but also feel good on the inside. That's why we started with mindset, because you have to have a mindset shift in order to be able to execute whatever it is you want to do in life. This concept involves nurturing and developing different areas of your life to achieve overall well-being and happiness. So I used to say there were 7 pillars to beautiful living. Well, guess what, guys? There are 8 pillars to beautiful living now. And the reason why is when I created Beautiful Living, when Beautiful Living dropped in my lap back in 2015, that's how long I've been sitting on Beautiful Living. I started talking about it in 2017. And I initially had 9 pillars to beautiful living. And I settled on 7 because 7 is the number of completion. And I felt like these are the 7 pillars, right? That will, I mean, it's just these are the 7 that this represents whole life wellness. Well, when I sat back and I thought about beautiful living as a whole, one thing that I thought about was that you should always be evolving. And if you're always evolving, because things are going to happen, life is going to be lifing, right? Then you need a new beginning. And 8 represents the number of new beginnings. And as I am traveling along and journeying along beautiful living and pressing upon you all to do the same, know that tomorrow is a new day that you get to choose what beautiful living will look like for you. So without further ado, I'm going to share with you the 8 pillars of beautiful living. The first one, as I said earlier, is mental beauty. That is cultivating a healthy mindset and emotional well-being. That's engaging in practices that promote mental clarity, resilience, and positivity. Next is spiritual beauty, connecting and seeking a relationship with God. Honey, you cannot do anything without Him. He needs to be the foundation to everything that you do. You try it if you want to. You'll see how far you get, and you're going to be on your knees begging and pleading, right? And so why not just create a relationship with Him? He wants relationship with all of us, right? And so pillar number 2 is so essential because without God and having a relationship, it's like building a home. And if you're not building your home on a solid foundation, you're going to find yourself with cracks in the wall. You're going to find yourself with cracks in the floor, all these different repairs that you're going to have to do. And then your house is going to come tumbling down, right? Such is life. But when you have a sure foundation, as the Lord, as God, He is there to help you, equip you, give you the resources, make provisions for you, and to make sure that you just get right back up and keep moving forward. The third pillar is physical beauty, taking care of your body, the one temple that God has given you through health and wellness, right? Embracing fitness, nutrition, and self-care routines that enhance physical health. The next pillar, which I like to say is the core to beautiful living, is relational beauty. That is nurturing meaningful and healthy relationships. But you have to learn how to do that with yourself first. You have to learn how to nurture a healthy self relationship before you can do it with other people. And it's so important because without taking a moment to nurture your self relationship, How you want to get somebody else to treat you how you want to be treated, right? You want people to treat you all. Let me just put it this way, ladies. You want men to go and take you to these expensive restaurants, but you don't want to do it yourself. You want to go, you want flowers delivered, but you don't want to go buy your own flowers. You want all this stuff, but you're not willing to do it for yourself. Learn how to do these things for yourself and find and create your own happiness, your own enjoyment. So when he comes and do it, honey, that's just a cherry because you already do it for yourself anyway. Thank you. I don't have to do it right now. I appreciate you, but what else do you have? You're not all mesmerized because he took you to a nice restaurant. You've been doing it for yourself. So nurturing that and looking yourself in the mirror and doing some self-reflecting. Self-reflection is so important. We have to sit down and self-reflect. That is beautiful living. In order to go to our next, whatever our next is, we don't take the time to self-reflect and learn from what we have been through, the lessons and those things, you're going to allow yourself to repeat the same things. You're wondering why your circle looks the same. You wonder why you keep attracting the same person. You got to look in the mirror and say, why am I keep attracting the same person? It's you. It's you. It's some work that you need to do with you. That's enough about that. That's for another show with some other people. Okay. So the next pillar is financial beauty, managing your finances wisely and achieving financial stability. Pillar number, I think I'm on pillar number 6 now. Yeah. Professional beauty, finding fulfillment and purpose in your career, right? Pursuing work that aligns with your passions and your skills and your values, right? So that's pretty much what's your purpose, right? Are you aligned with your purpose? Are you have you answered the call in your life? Are you operating in that? Whether it's a 9 to 5, because everybody's not called to entrepreneurship, or whether it's entrepreneurship, are you aligned with what he is calling you to do, right? The 7th pillar is outward beauty, embracing your external beauty and self-care. That's appreciating and enhancing your physical appearance through fashion. Oh, honey, I love the dress. If y'all don't know, right? I love to put on some clothes that make me feel good, right? When you feel good, you look good, you just respond, you just show up well, right? Through grooming and self-expression. So outward beauty is pillar number 7. And my new pillar, and she's not really so new. She's just been on the side. But I bring her out every once in a while, but I'm gonna let her stay. So social beauty, building and maintaining a positive social presence and connection. We need connections. We cannot get to our next without people. We just cannot, right? Engaging in social activities and networks that enrich your life and the lives of other people. I pride myself in being able to just get up and go by myself to networking events, meeting new people. Just because you never know who you're going to need. And being a part of social clubs and things like that, because I know the importance of connection. I know the importance of sisterhood. I know the importance of networking. And so I put myself in those positions, in those situations. And so all these things that I'm sharing is not nothing that I'm not willing to do or not doing myself, right? And so I said earlier that I added pillar number 8 because it stands for number 8 stands for new beginnings. And so today is the day that I want to get you all to reset. I don't know what you endured. I don't know what life been doing. I know life been lifing over here a little bit, but I get to choose how I'm going to respond to those things, right? I get to choose and set my boundaries and choose how I'm going to respond. So if I need to take a moment or two, I'm going to take my moment or two. But just know that today is a day to reset. Today is Sunday. And your clock gets to restart. We're going to restart life, right? I'm giving y'all permission to restart life because we are really going to journey to beautiful living, right? You need to identify what that is. You need to write it down. You need to sit with yourself. You need to sit and really ask yourself some really hard questions. Like, where am I in life? Does this feel good? Where do I want to be in the next 6 months, which will take us to January, right? Where? I ain't even talking about a year. I'm talking about in the next 6 months. Where do I want to be, right? And hold on. I see I got comments over here and I'm just talking, right? And so Oh yeah. Nicole says, I love dating myself. I love that. Right. And so I'm gonna put that up real quick. She says she loved dating herself. I didn't pay no these comments any attention to. I just looked up and saw them over here. And so yes, dating yourself is so important as women. I ain't talking to men right now. If you want to hear, I'm talking to the women. We got to date ourselves. It's okay to be with ourselves, to get dressed up. I remember the very first time I did it. I went in the restaurant and they said, table for two. I said, no, table for one, but I know you don't have one, so that's fine. The other chair can be empty. It wasn't empty to me because I really didn't care, right? And I went in there and sat, and I was like, I really just did that, didn't I? I really just did that. And so that is so important that we take a time to, to date ourselves. But back to resetting, right? So your clock starts now. We're going to reset because on every Sunday and Wednesdays, I'm going to be live at 8 p.m. This is just the inaugural episode, me getting into what beautiful living is. So it's kind of like setting the stage to what to expect. But there are going to be guests, and we're going to talk about everything under the sun. You hear me? Everything under the sun, everything pertaining to beautiful living. You're going to learn some things. I'm excited because of course, all the topics I can speak on, but I want to be here to ask questions and learn as well. So we're on this journey together, right? And so let me share a little bit because some of y'all been rocking with me for a very long time, right? And you know my journey. You don't heard it tenfold times, right? But then I got a lot of new followers and new friends that don't know my story, that don't know anything, right? About, last few days. Maybe they caught a few posts. And so I want to share a little bit because when I talk about beautiful living, I'm not just talking about it, right? This is not just another show. This is just not another podcast or whatever for you to listen to. It's really not, right? I could be doing something else truly with this time. But this is what God has called me to. He's been tapping on me to come and do this for a while. And it needed to look a certain way. I wanted it to be in the studio. I wanted it to look this way. And it was all these reasons for me not to get started. And a lot of times that's what we do. God calls us to something and then it has to look a certain way. And when it doesn't, we don't get started. So I had to make a decision. You're going to get started and you're going to do it right in your living room. And whatever happens from that point on, then we'll deal with that then, right? But the thing is to get started. So I'm going to share a little bit about my journey to beautiful living because I want y'all to know that I'm not just talking about y'all need to go out here and live a beautiful life and, y'all ain't going through stuff because I've been through some stuff too, right? And I like to say that my journey to beautiful living started at the age of 14 when I became a teen mom, right? A teen mom at 14. I'm somebody's mama at 14 years old. And I was just a child myself, a baby myself. And I just looking back, each time I have 3 daughters, and each time one of them turned 14, I was like, I cannot imagine you coming in here talking about you somebody mama. Like I'm looking at that like, what in the world? Thank you, Lord. I'm not a grandmother yet. Praise God right now because I ain't ready. But my journey started at the age of 14. And when I tell you, I never thought about what that was. I never thought about what statistics said about becoming a teen mom. It never crossed my mind. What I thought about was the vision to make sure that I crossed that stage with my graduating class, to make sure that I did not get retained, right? That's all I thought about. I never thought about, wait a minute, I just became a statistic. Wait a minute, did I just become one of those numbers? So when you go look it up and you go in the year 1990, what year my child was born? Yeah, 93. Yeah. I'm one of those markers. Never thought about it. Statistics would say that I would not graduate from high school. Statistics would say that my child would repeat. It would be a generational thing. Let alone go to college. That was not in our cards because I was a teen mom, right? But that was not my story. Not only did I graduate with my class, I graduated and received a scholarship. And although I received a scholarship to go to college, my counselor didn't see college for me. So she didn't help me. She said, well, you have a baby now, so good luck. Everybody's not going to believe in you. Everybody's not going to believe in you. When nobody else does, and when nobody else can tell you what to do, that's when you got to have that vision for yourself. That's when you have to stand for you and push and get it done. So I did all my FAFSA. I applied for all colleges. I did everything by myself. No help in that area, because it was something I saw for myself. Because I saw my classmates going off to college, I was like, okay, yeah, I should do that too. I did not finish college, the tradition of 4 years in, you're out. It took me a long time. It took me a long time to finish college, because by the time I was 21, not only did I have another kid, but I was married. By 27, I had another child, and I was still trying to finish college. I never lost the vision. There were things that came my way, detours. I had to spin around a little bit, take a step back, but I never lost the vision. And came hell and high water, I was going to get my degree. And I did. I received my associate's degree, I think in 2010, 2011. I got to go look at the diplomas, at the degrees. And then 1 short year later, I graduated with my bachelor's. Usually it takes 2 years. I graduated with my bachelor's degree. Number 1 in my class, summa cum laude. And I'm sharing this because a lot of times things happen, like you become a teen mom. And then you feel like you can't do nothing else. So you may not be a teen mom, but there are other things in your life that you may have encountered that don't look like you'll be able to finish that or achieve that vision or that goal that you set for yourself because of what it looks like, right? It doesn't mean you stop and you give up. It just means that you just got to come up with another plan, right? And that's what I did. And so I shared that to say it wasn't your traditional 4 years in and out. And I could have just been like, you know what? It must not be meant for me to get a degree. I ain't doing it. No, I did some other stuff. I got my cosmetology diploma in the interim. You know, I did other things along the way, but I still wanted my degree. And I did. By the age of 40, I was divorced. Now, where they do that at? I don't know how you get to be married at 21. It's been all those years, right? And then you come 40. And as a matter of fact, it was 2 months and 2 days shy of my 40th birthday that my divorce was final. I had to learn how to get out here in these streets and really date and redefine what beautiful living looks like to me and all that things. That was a very dark time for me, a very dark time. So dark that there were 2 instances where I considered taking my life because it was so heavy. It was so bad. It hurted so bad that I wouldn't wish it on nobody. But I had to recreate. I'm gonna tell you something. The Lord kept showing me my daughters. The Lord kept showing me their faces. And I said, they are worth me staying here. Lord, thank you for showing me their faces, because honey, it was never worth me even thinking about taking myself. But in the moment, sometimes grief will cause you to have some thoughts that are just not, that'll take you out, right? And I'm thankful to be here to share that, because beautiful living don't always look so beautiful. But when you make a decision that you're not going to give in and that you're going to keep going, it's beautiful living truly on the other side. Okay, I think I got some comments in here. Hold on 1 second. And because I'm just going. And Don has said, having a plan B is so necessary. Getting your cosmetology degree was a brilliant idea. Yes, Don, it was a brilliant idea because I'm gifted in that. God has granted us so many gifts and talents, and that we overlook those things. And I have been doing hair for a long time, but I got tired of people saying, well, she did my hair, but she's not licensed. She did my hair, but she's not licensed. But you keep coming back, but you keep telling people she did my hair, but she's not licensed. So I decided to go get my license. So, you can't say she did my hair, but she's not licensed, right? And, that's something that I can always use even today, you can't take the gift away. You can't take the talent away that God has given you. So yes, that was a good plan B. I worked that plan B, and then I got my degree and kept working that plan B, which was cosmetology. I was in and out of hair salons, so that's a lot to learn about me, right? But yeah, I got a divorce. I went through that. In the interim, there were some health challenges that I endured, right? I got diagnosed with PMDD, that's premenstrual dysphoric disorder. Pretty much, I knocked my hormones out of whack because I was doing the most. I was doing the most, and I knocked my hormones completely out of whack. So much so that I could not hear my kids' voice. They had to speak at a whisper in the house. The doctors could not figure out what was going on. God told me what was happening. And once he told me, because I had no idea, he sat me down. He told me to go to Google. I did. He told me what to put in. I did. And then it came up, and I called my doctors and I told them. They was like, how did we miss it, right? But that was during the time that God needed me to sit down, because I was out chasing purpose. I was out trying to figure out what my purpose was. So I was doing everything under the sun because I was desperate. I wanted to know what it was. I didn't want to keep going through life on a hamster wheel trying to figure out what I was supposed to be doing, because he gave us all purpose. And I happened to be one that wanted to know, and I didn't want to miss it. And so I did the most. He sat me down, and I heard from him a great deal. And a lot of things that he shared with me, this was 10 years ago, those things are coming to fruition this year, right? Speaking, writing a book, all of that he was able to speak into me because I was still enough to hear him. And so sometimes he has to sit us down in order to talk to us. But that's if you have a relationship with him. That's if you have a relationship with him. I've dealt with endometriosis. And I'm sharing these things with you because we're going to get into these topics really, deep in with some health professionals, people who are experiencing these things. I have a lineup and I'm so excited about it, right? Endometriosis had me feeling like I was giving birth. That pain felt like I was going into labor. That pain had me up against my headboard, calling out to the Lord because I thought he was about to take me away. That's how painful it was for me. Again, my doctors did not pinpoint it. The Lord told me. I had never heard of endometriosis. I'll tell y'all about that when we get to that show, when we'll be talking about endometriosis and living with it, right? And so the journey has not always been like all rainbows and butterflies, right? But I never gave up. I always seek the help that I needed. I always went and got therapy if it was therapy. Doctor if I needed to be at the doctor. Friends if I needed friends. Whatever I needed or need, because I still do that to this day. Making sure that my well-being is good, my health is good, my wellness. And wellness is not just about going to the doctor. Wellness is about community. Wellness is about mindset. Wellness is about taking care of the one temple. It's about all of those things. Thank you, sis. Thank you, Candace. And so it's about all of those things. And, I already talked a little bit about the moments of darkness in my life. That was a very dark moment when I considered taking myself out of here, right? And I'm thankful. I'm thankful that the Lord showed me my children. I am thankful because I'm here, because there's still purpose. There was still some things that God needed me to do. What is it that you have gone through? What is it that you have endured? What is it that you just feel like I ain't gonna be able to make it? Yes, you will. You can make it past whatever it is. I'm here to tell you. Don't do it alone. Don't go isolate yourself. This ain't the time for that. Go get the help you need. Go be with the people you need. Pick up the phone and call somebody, right? Life Coach Cole says, I suffer with endometriosis as well. I'm still waiting for you to start back. Okay. Okay. So Life Coach Cole, make sure you tune in when we talk about this endometriosis. Okay. It's going to be a whole show around that. Okay. So some lessons learned in my life has been that I need people. When they show you who they are the first time, don't keep giving them second and third times, even though sometimes I give them second or third time, right? That's the truth, right? That's the fleshy part, right? But for real, all jokes aside, the lesson that I have learned is not to stay in unfulfilling situations. I stayed in a unfulfilling situation. I'm just going to talk about one, and I'm just going to happen to talk about my job. That job was good. It allowed me to do a lot of good stuff for my children. I had a lot of flexibility. I was able to go to my kids' school. I was able to go sit in the classrooms. I seemed like I was always assigned the schools that they were enrolled in. And so that was great for me. Then there came a time where it no longer served me, but I stayed. It became unfulfilling to me, but I stayed. I stayed for a number of reasons. One, because I had a best friend. I have a best friend that I work with. Then I had some really close people that I loved. And they were like, believe it or not, they were like the anchor for a reason. I was like, yeah, but I don't really want to go because I ain't going to be able to see them every day. But I was still unfulfilled. I stayed because of fear of what the unknown was going to bring. I didn't know. And I'm the type that got to kind of know what's going to happen next until I don't know what's happening next. Until I took the leap. I don't know what's happening on a day-to-day basis. I had to get out of the no. I stayed in an unfulfilling position for way too long. And here I am out here telling people to live a fulfilled life. And I wasn't living a fulfilled life when it came down to purpose. I was going somewhere every single day that my hand sometimes would cramp up when I put my hand on the mouse, that my head would hurt when I sat down, when I would roll out the bed and could not even fathom putting on no clothes to go in there. It got real bad. And when I started hearing the Lord say, don't call on me, because I already told you. Told you to leave. I told you it was time. So you there on your own accord, not because I got you there. I couldn't call on him. Not from that. I just needed to do what he told me to do. And I did. And I'm walking in the fullness of what he's calling me to do. Is it scary sometimes? Yes. Have I crawled up under the desk already before? Yes. I was like, Lord, wait a minute, what am I supposed to be doing again? Yes. But it's about trusting him. What is the Lord calling you to do that you have not taken the step to do because of FEAR? And I shared in a video or something or in a post about God had been working on me because that was not the only thing I was fearful. I was used to be scared of dogs. I'm not 100% there. But I can be in the same presence. I have to kind of look at the master. The master ain't really, then I may have to go back out the door because you can't maintain your dogs. I have some people here with me and in here with me. So I'm about to turn and say a little thing. So before I come to Dubai, I need to know that your dog is good. Because when I be on the phone and you be like, I'm like, I cannot come to your house, sis. Because I think Rocky won't take over. Like, no, okay? I had to say that. But God's been working on me, right? Best friend going to her house. Then both her two dogs come running. I'm like, okay, because I don't be knowing y'all. I'm looking at them too. I'm checking you out. But I'm saying all that to say that God has been working on me. And getting over the fear of dogs really helped me to walk out of my job, really and truly. It really helped me to say, if I can get over this childhood fear, clearly I can walk and do what God told me to do, which was to do what he told me to do, which was to leave my job. And I am truly happy to say that I am now walking in, I see a message. I'm going to get back to you, Nicole. I see something that I want to talk about. Walking in my purpose fully. And there are a lot of things that God is calling me to do. And Nicole said she was misdiagnosed for so many years and had PCOS. Yes, I have some family members that deal with PCOS. I can't wait to get into this. When I tell y'all this show is going to be all about all things beautiful living, we're going to talk about some health things. We're going to talk about self-care. We're going to talk about navigating divorce. We're going to talk about parenthood. We're going to talk about every single thing. We're going to talk about styling. I can't wait to talk about that, right? We're going to talk about it all. And I have some family members, and I'm glad you know what it is now. I believe one of my daughters, and I have a sister that that deals with that as well. So yeah, I'm glad that you know what it is and they figure that out. And so overcoming fear and stepping out into my true potential has been like the greatest thing that I could have ever done for myself. After I got past what is the worst that could happen, which is what? Go get another job. Then, okay, then go do what he told you to do. Because the worst that can happen is you just have to go get another job. And so, like I said earlier, this podcast, this show, whatever you want to call it, the Beautiful Living Show with Keisa, it's not just another one. I want to bring awareness to things that people are not talking about. I want to talk to you guys about overcoming some things. Hey, Denise. I'm operating off of multiple monitors. So when y'all see me turn this way, that's because I have another monitor with a whole lot of comments coming down, right? And so I want to, we're going to get into some notes, some nuts and bolts of some things, okay? So expect some honest conversations about beautiful living, addressing some not so beautiful things. We're going to encourage you. We're going to uplift you. We're going to empower you, all that stuff. But guess what? It's all up to you. It's all up to you to receive it. It's all up to you to apply it. It's all up to you to say yes to you. Because, what I didn't say right after my divorce was final, the day my divorce was final, I won Miss Georgia in a pageant. I had just finished reading The Year of Yes and decided to say yes to me, because when asked to be a part of it, I, was suggested like, you should really do it. I was like, no, I ain't doing that. But I had remembered that I had said yes to everybody else, just like many of you. Many of you have said yes to so many other people but yourself. It's time for you to reset the clock. It's time for you to set some hard boundaries. And it's time for you to show up for you. And it's time for you to say yes to you. It's time. It's time. So, who are you? Who are you? What has God called you to? Right? What has He called you to? Because at the heart of me is purpose. I'm going to talk about some style stuff. We're going to talk about some self-care stuff. But when I talk to y'all about purpose and building businesses, that is like the core and heart of me, right? So what have He called you to? Why haven't you done it? What are you afraid of? Whose voice are you listening to? Whose dream are you living? Because it's not yours, some of you. It's time for you to create your own. It's time for you to live in your own light. Nobody else's. So, join me on this journey and let's create a beautiful life together. I am calling you all out to say if you need immediate support, I invite you to go to KeisaCampbell.com. There is a booking tab on my website that you can click on to book your breakthrough call, right? And it's only thing that costs you is your time. It's going to cost you your time to say yes to you and take the first step, because I can't take it for you. Only thing I can do is just be here, and to be here when you decide to show up for you, right? So it's time for you to just go to KeisaCampbell.com, click on that booking tab, and book your breakthrough call. And this was keep coming to me. Okay, Lord, I'm about to go on and say it. I'm going to say it. Okay. Some of you all, and it may not be y'all, maybe it's a replay. Maybe it's the replay viewers. I'm just going to put it out there. Y'all get so caught up in when you see a dollar sign. Oh, Lord. Ooh, Lord, you got me going there. That you won't invest in yourself, but you invest in everybody else, the T-ball games, the cheerleading packages, everybody else but yourself. And what you need to understand is that as quick as you spend money, you can make it back, but you can't get your time back. You can't get time back. And every day that God gives you on here on earth is a day closer to the end date. You can continue to stay where you are and not invest in yourself and whatever that looks like for you, and stay stagnant, living unfulfilled on the hamster wheel of life. That's your call. Or you can get the help you need. And right now I'm offering you a complimentary discovery or breakthrough call at KeisaCampbell.com. Only thing it costs you is your time. Okay, Lord, I got that out. So stop looking at what it cost you, because you can go make money back, but you can't get time back. And I'm saying, and I want you to really understand what I'm saying about the time. Time is ticking. And nobody knows the day or the hour. And nobody knows when is your time to be called home. So make the best out of this one dress rehearsal that you get called life. Invest in yourself and live it to the fullest. Okay? Okay. Lord, I said it. So join me on Wednesday at 8 p.m. I have a special guest coming on, and we're going to be talking about self-love and acceptance. And I thank you so much for joining me on this inaugural episode of Beautiful Living with Keisa, where you can check us out every Sunday and Wednesday at 8 p.m. here on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Remember, every day above ground is an opportunity to make your life beautiful. It's not about perfection, because if I was trying to make this perfect, I still wouldn't be doing this, because I was out looking for a place to do this. Oh, I got to go find a spot. I got to go. How much that's going to cost me to do that? Okay, well, maybe I'll go over here. No, it's about getting started. It's about showing up. It's not about making sure it's perfect, but it's about progress. So let's take this journey together, supporting and uplifting one another along the way. Don't forget to follow, subscribe, and share this episode with a friend. Until next time, stay beautiful and know that beautiful living awaits you. Bye.